All right. So Jake will be here in a minute. He was graciously getting the kids to bed so that they didn't pop in my office while I was on that. But thank you to all of you who came out last night. I see some of you on here who were at our holiday party, and we missed all of you guys who are not local and weren't able to make it last night. But I just got to thinking last night as we were all together just how excited I am for Summit. For those of you who are new, and it's always like a little tricky because I almost feel like I should make a note to talk about Summit once a month, because sometimes new coaches are like, what's Summit? And so I'm going to start to just talk about it a little bit more often. But basically, so Summit, for those of you guys who are brand new, is a once a year thing that we do as Beachbody. So we all get together, and it changes locations every year or two. So like last year it was in New Orleans, the 2 years before it was in Nashville. This year in June, it's going to be in Indianapolis, which is pretty cool because we have a fairly large, Midwest crowd. So I'm hoping we'll have a bigger team. But also it needs a, good sized airport, easy enough to fly into. So hopefully we have a great turnout there. It really is so special to be able to spend time together in person, getting to know one another. And I did comment about this today too in the group, but the next in-person event would be Super Saturday. So whether you're in Minnesota or you are somewhere else, most of the major cities have Super Saturday in some capacity. So be sure to kind of research. If you go to the Coach Back Online office, there's a spot where you can find Super Saturday and the locations. Most cities also have we have Team Beachbody Minnesota Facebook group where they're posting updates in there. So that's super cool. But what I want to say about live events is that I know it can be intimidating to put yourself out there and actually go. But like last night, I don't know if Chris is on, but Krista, who is a fairly new coach, she has been a discount coach for a while, and she's now excited to work the business. Like, she came by herself to the party and just like put herself out there. And I'm so proud of her because I know that's not easy to do, but when you put yourself out and you just become more engaged, you're going to learn and get more excited, and this is going to feel a lot more real. And so of course there's going to be different seasons of life when it's just not possible. Like, I know we're also, a lot of us in our childbearing years. So I see Erin Trigger was like super pregnant this last and moving, and so like she couldn't come to Summit last year. Obviously there's always going to be life events too, but when you can make them a priority, please do it, even if it feels uncomfortable, because I promise you, especially Summit tends to be the one, if people make it there, you tend to stick with it and have a lot of success, because you catch the Summit, we call it like the Summit fire, where you just all of a sudden get it because you're hearing from so many people who have already gone before you and built a business. So that's that. Now tonight, what I really wanted to do, now that we have sort of done the 80-day obsession, informational group. So tonight, if you tune in, it was just like a kind of a high level. This is a little bit about the 80-day obsession. These are about some of the products that you're going to want to know about. So the next thing that we really need to make sure that we are that we're on point with is knowing the ins and outs of the different options in terms of the 80-day obsession packs for our customers, for our coaches, and for new customers. So I wanted to take some time and walk through, and I can post these. You can take notes, but I will post all of this too, because there's a lot of information. So there you are. Thank you for getting the kids. Are they sleeping? Kind of. Okay.
Ish.
So there's a lot of information, but I want to go through it. I think the more times we can kind of hear what's available, the better. So I'm going to go pull up some pretty graphics here because they're easy to read that way. And I'm going to use notes to walk through because I don't have it all memorized yet. So really the cool part about all these different packs is that they can be tailored for anyone who's joining you. So I know sometimes that it gets a little bit tricky. Like if you already have Beachbody On Demand customers, sometimes you're like, well, like what else can I offer them? Or when does it make sense for them to make a new purchase if they're not drinking? Even challenge packs can be a little bit like there's just not very many options for people that have Beachbody On Demand. So moving forward, what they're going to be doing is like when a new program rolls out, they're going to have special packages put together for that program. This is what Beachbody used to do. And so really what they found was that this past year, you know, it's a learning curve. When you go from DVDs to digital, you're learning a lot. And so what they learned was that it was almost like we were selling, like instead of selling an app, we were selling like the Apple Store, if that makes sense. So like you don't go to your phone and buy the Apple Store. You buy like a specific app. Well, Beachbody On Demand is kind of like the Apple Store in the sense that within Beachbody On Demand, you have so many different programs. So what was happening, oh, hey, Chris, I was just talking about you. So what you have is, you know, you have customers who are purchasing Beachbody On Demand, and they were like, well, that's cool. I have all this stuff, but like, what do I even do? What do I start with? They didn't have as much direction. And so moving forward, they're going to kind of go back to what they were doing before. Like what they found too with Shift Shop, for example, was that launch wasn't as big as they thought it would be, because they just didn't, when you're digital, it's a different sort of marketing and, you know, explaining it to people. So it was kind of a missed opportunity. So we're learning and growing along the way, which is why they're going back to these specific packs. So before, for any of you guys that are new, what Beachbody would do is every time a new program came out, they would put together a special challenge pack for that program. And it would be a huge opportunity for coaches to re-engage past customers, to get them excited again. So this is kind of the direction they're moving in. So with that said, that's why they're moving to these different packs. With, you know, 80-Day Obsession, of course, we also have some new equipment. So they're rolling all of this stuff into a package, which is in the end going to save customers a lot of money. Instead of buying everything individually, you could buy it together. Do you have anything to add? Do we go into the specifics?
No, I think you'll get into it in the specifics, but the way that it's broken down is pretty ingenious, because you have different packs of coaches for current customers, for Shakeology home direct customers. So for new customers, I mean, it's just way more thorough as far as the options that you're going to be able to have. I mean, that's our job as, you know, health coaches or sales reps, is to provide solutions. And in the past, you had one solution. And that was the best that you could do. Now you've got different things that allow you to customize the message that you're having or the conversations that you're having with a very specific customer.
Right. Okay. So we're going to get through just walking through these packs. And again, I know you've probably heard some of this before. They talked about it on the National Wake Up Call. You'll probably keep hearing about it again, but it's really important that we get this kind of ingrained in our head. As we continue, even like if you walk up to someone on the street and they're like, how can I get set up with that? Like, we want to know our stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the options for existing BOD only customers. So this is for your person that only has Beachbody On Demand. They don't have Shakeology. They don't have anything else. So there's a few different options. Okay. The first package is like the mega package. And this is going to include their first 30-day supply of Shakeology, 2 containers of Energize, 4 containers of Recover, the Portion Fix containers, the strength bands, the strength slides, and then the 80-Day Obsession printed materials. So basically that package is giving them all of the performance line stuff that they need for the entire 80 days. Okay. And then 1 month of Shakeology with that. And so that is, if it was to be like full price, all separate, that would be $587. But right now with this package, it's for a one-time offer of $400. Okay. So then the next option, so that's kind of the highest tier. And I know a lot of you are thinking, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. You never know around Christmas time what people are going to do, though. You never know if they have a parent who wants to buy them a present or whatever. So don't count any of these options out. The next one.
People will always tell you if they can't do something, but you might as well ask to start.
Yeah.
And if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. So they can tell you $400 is too much. Awesome. I also have this option. In the long run, 3 months later, you would have saved them money. So again, you need to be an advocate to your customer. Now, I'm not saying that people are going to do it or you need to force it upon people, but don't tell yourself that someone's not going to do something before you've even asked them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the next package is you would get a 30-day supply of Shakeology, and this would be 1 container of Energize, 1 container of Recover, and then portion fix containers, the slides, the bands, and the printed material. And that, if you would put it all together separately, would be $317, but it's on sale for $200. The last option would be a 30-day supply of Shakeology, or 1 container of Energize and 1 container of Recover, and then the portion fix containers, the strength sliders, the bands, and the printed material. So that would be $140, otherwise $207. So as you can see, there's some different options. Personally, what I think will be the most popular will be the second option, the combo pack, where you're getting the Energize and the Recover and the Shakeology, all of it. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you were thinking about that for families, like couples?
I think men can, the more conversations I get to have with men, the more it just kind of seems resounding that there's greater interest in the performance lines. Some guys will do the Shakeology, some guys will drink Daily Sunshine. We're not obviously discriminating against those people. A lot of men tend to gravitate to the Energize and or Recover. So as you think about a pack that's going to be sold, and you're going to have maybe interest from men and women, maybe the woman feels bad about spending all that money on herself. The one thing that we kind of thought would be something we could potentially play on is selling it as a his and hers combo pack. So the hers being her Shakeology for the month, the his being the performance, and they can cross-pollinate as they will, but it might be an easy way for us to break down the barrier of feeling like, oh gosh, it's a lot of money to spend on myself. You say, well, no, it's something that you can easily do for him and her. I'm selling it that way.
Right. Erin said she's worried about sticker shock. Need to think of some good objections. Yeah, and I think, like, here's the deal, too, is, like, we've been in this world of, like, so cheap for so long that I think we are, like, worried about it. I know I was, too. But I keep going back to, like, and I was just starting Beachbody when they were kind of going away from the old system. But, like, when they would roll out these other programs in the past, the lowest price for these packs was, like, $200, $220, $225. Like, so people were buying them, and I think the nice thing is that when people do spend a little more money, they're more invested. Like they are gonna hopefully follow through a little bit more. But it is gonna be like, it's just gonna be us educating too, like about how important it is. And maybe they start off with 1, right? I mean, the beauty of this is that they could just start off with like, because right now I feel like my customers, either they start off with BOD or they start out with a challenge pack. So like with this, I'm excited because at least maybe they'll start out with 1 nutritional. And if they start out with 1, then maybe they'll go up to 2. Like maybe they won't do the pack right away. But I think it gives us more of a chance to really help them have the complete package at a lower cost.
Well, and I remember, maybe they still do this. I wouldn't know, but I remember when we bought P90X, like I think we paid the full price, but we were like seriously debating doing the like payment, like installs where you're paying $35, $40 a month for P90X for 6 months or whatever it was. Like it was so expensive. That's 15 years ago. We just did the plyometric workout, and he's talking about being 45 and he's 60 now. 15 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
15 years ago, we were like, geez, I don't know if maybe we just break up this payments in chunks. So, getting back into that mindset, the other thing, like, I'm a business person, so this is just me speaking me, but like from a commission standpoint, if you guys are out there and you're working your ass off, like, I'm such a believer that, like, if you don't succeed in this and you don't make money at some point, like, as much as it's about helping people, I know it's about helping people 100%. But if you're not making commissions, you're not succeeding, you're not making any money, you're not seeing any profitability from this, like, I'm not joking, like 2-3 months later, that Shakeology starts feeling a little bit more expensive. And like, the price didn't change, but it certainly feels a little heavier. So with these challenge packs, guys, like, shift your mindset from feeling like maybe it's a little bit more for my clients, and start realizing that you all have worked so very hard to be where you're at right now, and even have clients potentially talking to you. That if you can get them to pull the trigger on this challenge pack, the end goal, the bonus to you, if you will, is your commissions are also higher. Like what they wanted to get away from is people feeling like they have to sell 4, 5, 6, 7 challenge packs a month just to break even on their Shakeology. Now you sell 4, 5, 6, 7 challenge packs a month, you're bringing home another $200, $250. So I really think, once we get past the initial sticker shock, as Aaron said, I think this is going to be really powerful for you guys. And it's an opportunity for you to, further improve your family's quality of life and further enhance your business and take it to a whole nother level quicker. Ugh, yuck. Quicker, just by doing the stuff that you already do. So I hope you guys can kind of look at it that way. I read something a little while ago that was talking about I'll run this business at my own pace, and that's great. And that's really what got me on that thought process of look, Shakeology just starts feeling really, really expensive when you're not succeeding. So this should hopefully expedite that a little bit if you look at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, you have to know that a lot of this is going to be dependent upon the results that you guys get as coaches too. So what's going to be really cool, going back to Aaron, you have to be at the most perfect time for this. I'm like, why can't I just have a baby and be at that? I want to get those results. But no, seriously, if you guys, it starts with you guys going all in, and you going, okay, if I'm going to ask my customers to try Energize and try Shakeology and all this, what would happen if I tried it? Because when I started to drink Energize and Recover, I felt like I actually had more credibility because I had something else in my toolbox to talk about. So it's going to start with you guys getting results. And then you believing in it. And if you believe in it, it's going to come naturally. I can literally tell you that the week that we ran out of Recover when I was on 80-Day Obsession, I almost died because my body was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this.
We're working out this week without Energize. So
somehow my Energize got shipped to my parents, and we're totally out. So
I don't have a problem, I swear. So we added resistance bands this last week of Sweat Well Spent. I always try and work a week ahead of people just to make sure that what we're recommending to them is actually going to be helpful to them. And people will get to kind of have their first taste of resistance bands in that boot camp starting on Tuesday. But literally, guys, yesterday at one point when I was trying to do my hair for the party, I literally could barely raise my arms, and I feel like I'm in halfway decent shape. And those bands just they focus so much more than just your target area. You're literally doing a curl, and you feel like your upper core is working. And I was doing a bench press with a buddy of mine, and I had the resistance bands on my legs while I was doing the bench. And so I was I texted Amber, I was like, who says you can't work your lower body and core while doing bench press? So I think you're really going to enjoy them. I'm a believer. I think it's so weird because I've been the one saying I don't think men are going to want to go for those bands. They're really tough. And I felt like it really changed my workouts last week. Made them a lot tougher.
Yeah. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm Jake said last week, he's like, I feel really fit this week. I was like, I know, you just kind of start shriveling away with these.
No, you said it. Oh, I know. And you look fit, is what you said.
Oh man, you're right. You're right. Oh. Okay, so the next one. So the first category again was existing BOD customers. The second category is going to be new customers and new coaches. So this would be if a brand new customer wanted to sign up or a brand new coach wanted to sign up. So again, we call the Big Bertha package. You're going to get a year of BOD, and then you're going to get your first month of Shakeology. You're going to get 2 containers of Energize, 4 containers of Recover, Portion Fix containers, the sliders, the bands, and the printable material. So basically everything that the other package had, except you're also getting BOD. And so that package is $430. But again, keeping in mind that if they were to buy it separately, it'd be $686. So they are saving quite a bit for those people who are like, yeah, I want to do this up front. Again, the second package, which I think will be the most popular, is this one that's going to have a year of BOD plus the Shakeology, and then 1 month supply of, or 1 container of Energize, 1 container of Recover, the bands, the sliders, the containers, and the printed material. And that price is $230. So really that,
smoking good deal.
It's such a good deal, because otherwise people would be paying $416. But for this, I mean, think about what they get with the all access package now for $160. In addition, they're getting, you know, the bands, the sliders, and Recover. I mean, Recover and Energize on its own is like over $100. So that's a really good deal. The last package for new customers, new coaches, would be a year of BOD, Shakeology, or the performance line, and then the containers, the bands, the sliders, and the printed material for $170.
So again, being a sales rep and thinking through just tangible conversations you're going to have with a customer, what you guys need to understand is the kind of the 3 quadrants of options and how they fit into various customers, because these 2 packages that we just went through are the exact same thing. Like literally the exact same thing. They are no different. The only difference between the first option and the second option is one included BOD, the other one did not. Mm-hmm. So just as you're trying to like think through like the conversations you're going to have, somebody asks you and you're like, oh my gosh, I was on this call the other night and I'm trying to remember everything we talked about. Like it's very simple. They're all the exact same options, different packages, but it's specific. Again, what I love is that it's specific to the customer. So if they are a current Home Direct customer, you're not talking to them necessarily about ordering Shakeology. So that's out, but they do need BOD and they need the performance. Or if they are a brand new customer, they're going to need the whole works. So you just kind of think about that. Like here's your options. Like you could have 3 different options. They're all the same, but specific to what that customer is going to need. So maybe that's an easier way to think about it, because there's a lot of details to them, but it's actually pretty simple.
Right. So then the last category would be current customers and coaches like you guys. So what do you do for you? How would you get the best value for your 80-day session experience? So the total package, which is this is again the big package, would be to get 2 containers of Energize, 4 containers of Recover. So basically you would have all of your performance line for the whole 80 days. And then you'd have the portion fix containers, the sliders, bands, and the printed material. So that's going to be for customers $346, and for coaches $259.50. And then let's say you wanted to do just the
accessories.
Yeah, just the accessories. Hold on. Then it would be the printed. I gotta go back to the other graphic. That's easier to read. The portion fix containers, the sliders, the bands, and the printed materials for $37. So this one would assume that you are already like drinking Shakeology, and so you would just need to add the Energize and Recover. Mm-hmm. So again, I will post all of these options in the group, but the important thing to know, you guys, is that these are going to go on sale this week, the end of this week. And so really just wanting you guys to be aware that what I see a lot of coaches doing and what I'm doing is to start to collect your pre-orders. So ask people like if they're interested, if they, you know, if you can put them on an email and what package they're interested in, so that then if someone is interested, then they can go ahead and just like when it comes out, you can email them with a link and everything. Now, the other thing that's super cool is that tomorrow our brand new online office is going to launch, and this, our like the shopping side of our website. So with this feature, you're going to have the ability to share what's called share a cart with your customers and coaches. So you can create a customizable cart, just like I'm sure you've done on other websites before, and send them the link so they have everything right there. It's going to be so much more simple. I mean, the truth is our website has been like totally ghetto for a while, and I'm so excited for it to be updated and work properly. Of course, just know there might be, like with any kind of technology, there might be a few, glitches here and there, but it's going to be amazing.
And if you have any of those glitches, they're all Monica's fault.
Apparently, poor Monica with Take Back the Kitchen. She gets a lot of random requests. But speaking of Take Back the Kitchen, this is another thing that we wanted to make sure that you guys are telling your people when you're talking about 80-day obsession, is that we are going to have specific 80-day obsession meal plans for our Take Back the Kitchen members. I'm meeting with Monica on Tuesday to figure out the details of it. I don't think we'll have a brand new, like an entirely brand new menu for every week, because I don't know about you guys. I know I talked to some of the people at the party last night, and we were just saying, as far as breakfast and lunch goes, a lot of times you're kind of this creature of habit and you eat a lot of the same things. So we'll still be changing it up. But the main point is that what I did not have when I went to the test group, and what a lot of people will not have unless they're on our team or under us as customers, I didn't have a meal plan to follow to help me go, oh yeah, this is exactly what I should be eating when. So we're going to be able to provide that. That's additional value that not everyone can offer. So make sure that you don't forget to include that when you are having these conversations.
And now that also could be the reason that someone's willing to pay $240 or $400 or whatever it is. I mean, that's going to be an added bonus. It's all about giving people value and justifying the cost. So just something to keep in the back of your mind as well.
Right.
You get access. We're going to be the only team in the network with access to a registered dietitian for all 80 days. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll be a huge, that will be a huge game changer for a lot of people. Okay. I think that's Ashley just asked, will there be different Success Club points based on the packages? I haven't heard that yet. Has anyone else? I don't think I've heard anything about that. I'll let you know if I do. Otherwise, just assume two points. But they might do something weird, like for January, for example, like they did in November for full time. I wouldn't be surprised.
I saw two for all packages. But commissions do go up.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, again, I think my goal for my customers is to get them to commit to Shakeology and the performance line, at least for those 80 days. I'm not going to say this is something you have to do forever, because I think that's when it gets overwhelming. But if I can really position it like for these 80 days, go all in, see how you feel, because they're also going to notice that if they stick to the nutrition plan, they're going to be saving money, because they're not going to be running out to wherever, Panera, to buy an $8 salad. They're going to have everything that they need. And we are planning to run a big group together. So starting on January 15th, you can totally run your own groups, whatever you want to do. But I know sometimes for the newer coaches, it's nice to have a larger group to plug their customers and themselves into. So we will be having that open for everyone.
And furthermore, like it's great to be miserable with 300 people.
Yeah.
There's just really something powerful to it. You felt that way with the test group.
Yeah.
And that was really where we came up with the idea for Sweat Well Spent was, hey, we could just put everybody in there together. And, I don't know how many people show up every single day and do the workouts, but I know I've got, we've got probably 40, 50, 60 people that post every day. And then I get messages from people on the side letting me know what they thought of the week's workouts. So I think it's really special to have that camaraderie and accountability. I don't know if there's a better way to run a challenge group, to be honest. Because there's also days that the benefit of it is, there's days that you feel really inspired, and so you share. And then there's days where you're not very inspired and somebody else shares. It's just people kind of carrying people along for a good journey. So I think that'll be another huge component of 80-day obsession, because that's 80 days. All of us can commit to the 21-day fix and do it for 21 days. Sweat Well Spent's 18 workouts over 21 days. Like, most people can commit to that, but to go up each and every day, like we see people falling behind after 2-3 days. We have people that are saying, I struggled to get day one's workout in. I'm like, day one? But that's the reality. So for over 80 days, it's going to be really helpful to have, I think, a large group of people being like, come on, let's go. You got this.
Yeah, and the one thing we did in the test group too was we were working out at the same time every single day. So I kind of started to talk to coaches last night about this too, but you know, what I foresee as the trickiest piece of the nutrition plan is going to be helping people figure out when to eat, because it's all based on when you work out. So what I'm thinking is, like, if we know that there's certain times of the day that are popular, what we would do in the test group is we would just all hop on a Zoom, you know, and someone would push play and we'd all work out together, where we could kind of lead those at different times of the day, if we had some different coaches that were willing to kind of lead those up. So we'll be kind of hashing out those details as it gets closer, but I think that could be another way to get people the results that they really want to stay on board. Oh, yay, Shar. I'm so glad that you like those groups that you can play into. Do you guys have any other questions before we go? I know it's a lot of information, but the main thing is, you know, feel free to share those photos that I posted in the team page today, the 80-day obsession results. Like, those photos are totally game to share, as far as people wanting to know information. But yeah, like, if you have any questions, reach out to us. But it's going to be, I totally, like, just wish that I could explain how excited I am, because every time I'm at the gym and I see people working out, like, I almost feel bad for them because they don't have the, like, 80-day obsession going on. Like, it is just going to be. So I told some people this, but when the 21-day fix rolled out a couple of years ago, that was when, right before we signed up, was when the Extreme was going. That's when a lot of the coaches that are at the top today, like, really were able to build their businesses quickly. So with that said, I don't want you guys to miss out on what an opportunity there is here. So right now, I mean, I was telling Jake, my goal, what I'd like to challenge all of us to do throughout the month of December, is to be a lot more consistent, if you aren't already, with live video. Because I think right now, in terms of just planting seeds and being the face that people see, not that it has to be talking about 80-day obsession every time, but just adding value, sharing a recipe, sharing what your family is up to. You know, like Josh had a great video this week with Bryn. They made Daily Sunshine, and it was adorable. Did you see his video? Yeah. Like, stuff like that, where, like, people are then just thinking about you. Like, he didn't have to come out and say, hey, buy this. He just said, yeah, this is what our family uses. We're really excited about it. Let me know if you have any questions. Like, it was super, like, you know, casual, but it was like him popping on for a few minutes, sharing his life. But right now, people, like, thinking about the new year, they're starting to. But in the weeks to come is when they're really going to start to think about it. Like, that week after between Christmas and New Year's, they're going to start to think about it. And then January. And so if you have been the person that has been showing up, naturally when they think about their fitness goals, you're going to be the first person that comes to the top of their mind. And so that's why it's important for us to be more consistent than ever, even if people aren't quite ready yet, to really just show up and do live video.
The other thing I want to add is, as you're thinking about live video, I think a lot of times we get in our heads, and I'm reading this 5-second rule by Mel Robbins, so you can get ready, because I talk about it all the time now. But so many of us get in this habit of thinking ourselves out of doing something, so no one's going to benefit from it. You know, they probably heard this. I didn't come up with this idea on my own. I got it listening to Mel talk, and who could benefit from hearing that? Like, who cares? Like, you don't need to do a recipe of Shakeology. And I'd argue that, you know, maybe that's good once a month, but for the next week, like, just don't be doing videos of making Shakeology. That feels very salesy. But if you guys are developing yourself personally and professionally, and you've got things that you're hearing and learning, like, you got to get online. You need to share what you're learning, and you need to take it a step further. This is where most people just kind of stop. It's like they share about it, and like, it was really good, and I really learned it. I'd encourage you guys to listen to it when you get a chance. Take it one step further and have an opinion. Like, I heard it, this is what I thought about it, and then this is what I'm going to do about it, and share that. Like, it doesn't need to be complicated, it doesn't need to be massive, but like, we need to take a stance, and we need to be like talking about things other than sales, because otherwise people aren't ever going to get to know who you guys really are. And people that hear you and get to know who you really are ultimately going to be the ones that you want on your team. So I would just encourage you, get outside of your head a little bit. And I love this thought. I wrote about it this weekend, but never miss out on an opportunity to share a teachable moment. And if you took something from it, even if you think it is the most mundane, simple concept, share about it, because somebody needs to hear it. I can hear McKinley screaming, but just do it. Be like Nike. Just do it.
Well, I think that's really all we have.
Peace and love.
Tonight. But the point is, you guys keep doing what you're doing. Keep those invites going, even if you're not hearing anything. Like, this is the time of year when hearing crickets is the best thing, because it means that you're planting seeds, which will grow soon. Like, they're gonna grow soon. Come the new year, this is our time to help people. So if you wait to get started until January, inviting, you're going to probably not reap those benefits till later in the year. But if you do it now, you're going to have a huge opportunity to really inspire a lot of people soon. So are there any other questions? Oh, Shar said the date for Daily Sunshine Camp. I don't know that date, Shar, but I will try to find that out, because I know it's like soon. And Ashley said the videos that get the most traction are the ones where her kids are acting like little monsters. It's so true. People just want real. They just want real life, and they want to know, how do you act in real life situations, and that builds trust and all of that. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. You're amazing. I'm really just excited for us to end this year strong. Oh, yeah, like I mentioned yesterday, we're number 12. Like, that's so cool. Like, I hope you know what it takes to maintain, like, that level at this point in the year, because everyone is pushing so hard. So that is thanks to all of your work, and we'll see how the year ends out. I think it's going to come down to really how many people are hitting Success Club. That's sort of our last thing to really go for. So follow up. I know that we can end the year strong. And we will see you, I guess, tomorrow in the group. So, all right, guys, thank you. Have a good night.